Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Nas Sanchez, and welcome back to some more Need for Speed Most Wanted. Now here is this Mercedes that we ended up winning from Bull. Like I said, it was a well-balanced race. Unfortunately, I don't end up using it for a lot. I end up using it for a couple police chases, and that's about it. I'll talk about that later in the episode, as well as this next car which I'm about to show you. And here it is. This is the mystery car. I'm putting the Junkman parts on it. I just love it. Of course, I end up putting the Junkman parts on it after I put everything to Ultimate. Another thing is I love this pearlescent paint job I got for it, and I love that lime green to that like crimson red. Now here we have Razor, and these the 5 races. It's not hard enough that you have to do 5 consecutive races, but the 3rd and 4th races are just so hard. I'd probably spent on both of them in total probably about 2-3 hours. It's so difficult. So many failures. So many. I wouldn't say the first one probably took me about an hour, and the second one, I ended up wanting to quit so bad. It was horrible.
Look who came crawling back. I'm glad you're here, Sugar Plum. You brought me luck last time.
Make sure you smoke 'em and get that ride back. I'll take care of the rest.
Ready to donate another car to the Razor Fund, baby? It's go time.
I didn't really want to show you a lot of this car because, again, I kind of messed it up, and I was running with the McLaren. I was going to show you some footage of the McLaren, but I ended up messing that one up. As you can see, this car is just so fast. It has such high acceleration. It ends up having the highest acceleration and handling stock. But I kind of messed up on upgrading it, and I ended up buying around $400,000 worth of upgrades for it. But then I forgot about my Junkman parts, and I ended up seeing that this has the best on it, and I had the Junkman parts, which pretty much cost me $400,000 in total. Which, I don't care, it's endgame anyhow, but still, that's a lot of money. This car, I just completely love it, but the bad part about it is, it's probably the lightest car in the game, which is a good thing because of the high acceleration, but it's like lighter than the 911 Porsche, because I can not hit the speed breaker and run into anything with this car. I will flip. I end up doing that in the one race, and it's almost costing me the race. It's just kind of like that lightweight's probably the only bad factor about it, other than how overused it is in the entire game. I'm not gonna let that off my mind, but it's pretty good car. I'm not gonna lie. Has that real high acceleration. It has with the handling, it's almost like you need to turn your sensitivity up with it because of I don't know, because of how much it grips the road. You need to have that extra, the extra jolt. It ends up taking that away because of how good the handling actually is. It has a lot of downforce, but if you do hit a stunt jump, you will go flying with it. Through this entire race, not this entire race, but through the entire circuit, he pretty much bullies me. I hate that BMW so much. And the thing about Razor is they ended up... Remember in the last episode when I was talking about how they nerfed the Bull and they gave him just that right amount of challenge that made it fun and made you feel successful? They did the complete opposite of Razor. With Razor, they ended up... They didn't nerf him. They figured if you can make it this far, you can beat them, and you should be glad that they gave you this challenge. No one is. No one ever is. This is just a bad decision on their part, which, it does make the game. This is a very difficult boss. This drag race alone probably took me about 10 different tries, which is usually I can get on the 3rd or 4th one. Like I said, this ends up switching, some of the cars change. But looking back at this Porsche GT, it just wrecks. You've seen how fast I got up into, what gear was that, 4th gear in the beginning, and I just hit 6th gear immediately after. And I just kind of end up slowing down a little bit towards the end. And way back there in the corner, you can see Razor's car in the photo if you really look hard enough. This race, this race almost made me cry. This is so bad. He always ended up beating me to the finish line. I would always crash or something. Actually, no, in this one I was about to do fail montage, because every single time there would be a tractor trailer that would pull out, and I would always wreck into it. And Razor, being freaking racing god he is, he could always drift in between his tires and make it to the finish line. And I would always crash into the front of it, trying to beat it to the outside, like beat it around the corner, and it was just so bad. I was so mad at this game. I ended up doing it like 4 or 5 times, and it just got worse and worse every time. I do believe that I did probably all of this race except for like the first 1 or 2 races. I was game fatigued, and it's just so bad. I mean, I was just tired of everything at that point. I mean, there was a lot of this that ended up getting not corrupted, but it was, I don't know how to put it. Like, it wasn't corrupted, but it like, and it didn't hit frame rate lag either. It's just, it didn't capture it well for that like 10-second period, and like the colors are off and like flashes, and there's like, if you ever had a VCR and you watched it, like if you watch it so many times, you get those lines that come through it. Like that started to happen to like the footage, and I was like, what? And you know, it's super frustrating because I did spend a lot of money on this capture card. It's supposed to be a really good one, and it's kind of, I had high hopes for it. It's, like I said, it's a real good capture card. It's just, it has its kinks still, and a lot of kinks, and I wish they would improve it, you know, update the software, maybe anything, but I mean, there's a lot of mistakes that it does make. It has trouble reading the game sometimes, and corrupts it. That has only happened to me once or twice now. And luckily the one was a test video. But I mean, like all through this race, they pretty much make Razor the most difficult person ever. And you'll see as he does he pass me here? Oh no, yeah, here he comes. And you can see, just look how good his handling actually is. And then I'm gonna end up making this separate, and I'm gonna make it a 15 Blacklist members, even though we're gonna beat the Blacklist member today. I just hate how they make this BMW M3. I like the M3. If I could get one cheap myself, I would. But I mean, it's, when it comes down to it, it's just it's an overpraised car. It's a BMW. I mean, like I said, it's a fun car. I like how they kind of made it the main car of this. They kind of killed it. I won't lie, they killed it. They stabbed it in the heart. Especially whenever they give it to you, and it only has half handling. Like, I don't understand how it's supposed to be the best car ever, and they kind of give you everything on a silver platter except for the handling. I completely hate how they did that, especially since Razor is supposedly like the crappiest racer ever, since you pretty much could have beaten him the very first race and none of this would have happened. But he ends up beating you, and then he suddenly gets super good at racing, which I don't understand, since he's in a crappy car that only has a high acceleration and high top speed. And the acceleration doesn't even really matter because of how crappy the handling is. My Audi, probably stock, not even stock, like if it would have like probably one upgrade added to the handling, would have a lot better handling than that car. That car is just complete trash as far as I'm considered. Yeah, just the brakes and everything on it are just really bad. I mean, I'm not even sure how I could really, like, I'm not trying to bust on it, but it's not my favorite car anymore. I was always like, yeah, I'm gonna get that M3, but no, it's not that good of a car. Now, in this next race, this was probably the spawn of Satan himself. And if you're wondering why I didn't click the next button yet, it's because I'm probably like praying to Jesus, that like telling him thank you for helping me beat that race or whatever, and then I'm gonna curse him out for this race. But I mean, this race probably took me about an hour in total to beat. And at one point, I raged so hard, I ended up running the track backwards the whole way just to hit him. Like, this is just so difficult. It took me, like I said, about an hour, and it's not so much a difficult track, it's more or less the catch-up mode for Razor is so crazy. He's so overpowered. He can literally sneak up on you. You hear me complain about catch-up mode a lot through the series, but I mean, this is where I'm going to try to prove a major point to it. And especially how they did it the wrong way, and how a lot of catch-up modes, you know, they give you that extra like 10, 20 miles an hour to catch up, depending on how far away you are. But they give them that 10, 20 miles an hour and permanently increase their max speed. Now you don't get catch-up mode. You just get lucky if they wreck. And a couple times this series I did get lucky, but I mean, the catch-up mode in this game is so unfair. You end up seeing how that kind of killed himself in whenever he went against Ronnie, I believe. And he ended up getting like stuck, and then he restarted and he like got stuck in the map, and then and then he ended up catching up to me, and he was like 500 feet behind me. But I mean, there I ended up missing that same exact shortcut, which he takes advantage of it so well. There you see like how, again, lightweight this car is. You wreck and it just kind of does a semi-flip. Now, he constantly takes advantage of that shortcut right there. You'll see that's pretty much how I win, or keep my win, is because of that very last not the last shortcut, but that shortcut that we just ran into there. Back at where we passed him. I mean, back to the Benz, if you want me to talk about that. It's like, I gave it a nice body kit, a nice fully upgrade, give it that nice blue, because I didn't really have any blue cars, so I was like, I'll make it blue. And I ended up not really using it. I was kind of disappointed, because I mean, it's a good car. It's not like the DB9. I would more or less compare it to, I'm not going to say it's that heavier, like the forbidden car that we don't talk about anymore, that I've banned from my channel, but Lancer. Anyhow, it has like the heavy feel to it, but now here's actually where it does really screw me over. I end up having to, I could have either took the gamble and seen if it would have flipped me over up against the guardrail by down on my feet, hit the restart button, and then ended up going away at it. But back to that McLaren. It's a real fast car. It has a super high top speed, has a super high, not as high acceleration, but I mean, has nice handling. It has a really high acceleration, but it's probably, I don't even know how to compare it. It's not fully up, but I mean, it's high enough that it counts. Now that thing is a complete tank. I needed just like to survive, or like tag like 35 vehicles, or survive for like 13 minutes in a cop chase. Ended up doing all 3 of them in one because of that, and it was just so easy with the McLaren. I wouldn't want to do it with my $2.7 million car right here. But I mean, it was just such a fresh run. I ended up having to do it twice because I ended up outrunning the cops. Like I couldn't keep up with them. Now there you see me pass that shortcut again, and this is when you see he takes advantage of it there and keep flipping, and he ends up taking that huge, not huge lead, but I mean, I ended up catching up. He takes a decent lead on me, especially for a boss race like this, especially for a high pursuit chase race like this. Now here, I end up wrecking into him, flipping him, running into him again, carrying with me, and at this point, I'm probably, like, I'm cursing myself out of my mind. I hate that high traffic, especially how you can push it like that. I hate how unrealistic that is, and it just kind of kills me sometimes. Another thing is, I split this episode up because in total it would have been like a 40-minute episode, and I like to try to keep around like 20 minutes, because I think a half-hour video is too long, 45 minutes especially too long. 25 minutes, I think that 5 minutes kind of tricks your brain and you're like, no, it's too long. But I mean, I think around 20 minutes is perfect. It's around that thing where it's something where if you have time you want to watch it, and if not, you just kind of brush it aside. But I mean, a 20-minute video, that's I mean, it's not like you can watch like I know CNN does a lot of like 3-minute videos, and I can just watch his on like on the bus ride to school or something. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff like that that I mean I'm still trying to figure out with my channel. I could really use your guys' help. If you would post down in the comments, anything would really be a help. You know, what game I want to play next, how I should do it, how long my video should be, what's the convenience of you guys. I know a lot of times, like a lot of people would be like, oh, you should show me how good you are at COD. You should go hang out. You can record me off COD, and you can show me your like 3 subscribers, and I can be famous. Like, no, I don't want to do that. I mean, at the most, I'd probably do Titanfall because I guess you could say I won in the MLG circuit for like a month. I did get on the team. My friend introduced me. They ended up liking me during the tryouts, and I just overall like that. Titanfall. I mean, if you ask anyone else, they'll be like, "Hey, is he good at Call of Duty?" No, my Call of Duty KD after his reset was like a 1.3. Before it was like probably 0.9. Same with Battlefield. I'm not good at those games. I mean, if you get me in a team, a good like team, I mean, I can do stuff. But I mean, again, I'm not gonna be a real big team player. I'm not a playmaker on that. Titanfall, on the other hand, my PvP is like a 2.21. It's crazy. My Titan ratio is like a 1.7, which isn't as good. But I mean, I don't really Titan fight that much. Especially my AI. My AI is like at a 10. But like, I just completely love, you know, just doing stuff for you guys. I love sharing my games. Now this is actually going to be the first time that I end up beating this on the 360. I will warn you, this is one of the parts that I couldn't clean up, and the video does get a little bit like glitchy for about 5 more seconds, and it clears up after that. This is the part that I said about how the rock seal is not completely cleaned up to the point that it should be. Next, back to about the channel. I need your guys' help. I need you guys to help me out with whether I should do Wolfenstein. I really want to do Wolfenstein. I'm gonna play it no matter what. I mean, it's up to you guys if I could just do it casually while I do it, while I play it, or what. But I mean, I think the best thing for it would be a live podcast for it, I guess. You know, me and a group of guys just hanging out, just playing the game together, taking turns or whatever. I mean, because I don't really, like, whenever I'm in the game, I go super hard, especially whenever I'm doing something like this. I probably was only like, I was probably like cursing myself out a little bit for doing all the crap wrong, and that's probably all you would hear. I mean, I ended up doing this race in the first race on the first try. That's kind of made me a little bit happy towards it. But I mean, like I said, this is a real difficult race. On the PS2, I've beaten it probably twice on the PS2 and maybe once on the Xbox. But I mean, on the Xbox, original Xbox, I played over at my friend's house, and he said he couldn't beat it. And he gave me the car and upgraded it. I ended up beating it for him. But I mean, on the PS2, I think it's a lot easier. I'm not sure why. I think it's just they upgraded the difficulty for the Xbox. But I mean, usually whenever I replay games, they get easier whenever I'm older. But I mean, here you can just see this is probably the exception, especially since it's, I guess it would be a next gen. It's an old next gen. It's made in 205. But I mean, I just completely love this game to death. Same with Deadpool. I completely love Deadpool. About Deadpool, I really wanted to do a playthrough on that. I mean, I tried to do a live commentary. I ended up talking for about a half hour, and then like I was real silent, making dumbass comments about like stuff that just kind of happened. And I mean, a lot of people have done Deadpool. That's why I kind of want to stick to the older games that a lot of people haven't played. You know, kind of just because I mean, you can look up anyone playing Destiny. You can look up anyone playing what's it called, that new horror game. I mean, you can see anyone playing, you know, all the mainstream games. But I mean, you don't see a lot of people playing Need for Speed now. You don't see a lot of people playing, you know, Fallout. You don't see a lot of people playing all that stuff. So that's why I kind of do. I kind of want to go to the outer circles of gaming to just share that stuff with you guys. Now, like I said, I could really use some help on how long you want the videos to be. If you want them to be shorter, if you want me to do longer. Like I said, I would really like to do like sort of a live podcast sort of thing whenever I play Wolfenstein. That would be great if you guys could give me some feedback on that. I mean, if you really want me to, I can keep doing those commentaries. I know they're not as interesting, but I mean, they're still good. I mean, I can think of a lot more to say. I can kind of plan ahead a little bit, and they're just a lot more interesting than live commentaries by myself, because live commentaries by myself, as you can see, don't really work out that well. Or as you didn't see, but as I'm telling you, and you can probably figure out. Anyhow, like I said, live commentaries not for me until I can actually get into the habit of talking in a very passive voice. And I mean, another thing is leave down in the comments what you really want me to play. I mean, I play a lot of, you know, like, I mean, I do a couple of PC games here and there, but I mean, I will record a lot of PC games like zombies. I play a lot of World at War zombie custom maps. Me and my friend, we ended up making one. Don't try it; it's bad. I play a lot of like Assassin's Creed. I like to do a lot of Fallout. We like to mess around with GTAV. But I mean, yeah, this is pretty much it. Here we beat Razor. I'm gonna make a second part to this video. I'm gonna end up probably showing a little bit more than the next part. I'm gonna try to end it here at a cliffhanger, sort of. I hope you guys go and check the next video out. I mean, that 15th video is probably gonna be the end of it, the end of the series, and I just really love sharing this with you guys. Like I said, this I ended up crashing. I ended up almost missing it, and I just kind of glad to finish it. But yeah, this is all. See you in the next one. And I am Nasty Sanchez, and this is me signing off.